There can be few brand turnarounds as mind-boggling as Lego's. Here is a Danish toy manufacturer with its roots carved by old Kirk Christensen, a small-town furniture store owner that has spawned into the biggest brand on the planet. Its fleet of movies, spin-offs, and tie-ins propelled Lego beyond the likes of Apple, Ferrari, and Sony to become the most recognizable and commercially successful brand on the planet. And Lego has managed this with effortless cool, embracing and entertaining children and adults alike. That's some story. When it comes to all things Danish, modern furniture, beer, and pastries stand out, but arguably the country's most famous export is tiny toy bricks. In 2016 alone, over 75 billion of the colorful plastic bricks were sold, and the 85-year-old company behind them reigns as one of the world's most iconic toy manufacturers. But if it weren't for a series of fires and an ingenious woodworker, Legos may never have been built. In this video, we're going to tell you about the story of Lego and how it became so big. Sit back, grab a brew, and enjoy this video. Let's get started. Let's talk about some history. The Lego story started in a Danish woodworking shop in the days before electricity. At the time, Billund was just an obscure village and old Kirk Christensen was just a simple carpenter with ambition. As a young man, Christensen turned his love of whittling and playing with wood into a business, and in 1916, he opened his own shop. At first, Christensen's shop produced furniture like ladders, stools, and ironing boards. But in 1924, just as he was looking to expand his successful business, his sons accidentally set a pile of wood chips in the shop on fire. The flames it produced destroyed the entire building and the family's home. Others might have given up with a total loss, but Christensen saw the fire as an excuse to simply build a larger workshop. Tragedy continued to strike, however. In 1929, the American stock market crash plunged the world into depression, and Christensen's wife died in 1932. Bowed by personal and financial disaster, Christensen laid off much of his staff and struggled to make ends meet. Christensen may have been a good ironing board builder, but it turned out he was a brilliant toy maker. He refused to cut corners for the toys his product produced. Soon, his prototypes for ingenious models of cars and animals and his adorable pull toys gained a national fan base. His best seller, a wooden duck whose beak opens and closes when pulled, is now a coveted collectible. Everything is awesome. At the Lego Group, everything is awesome. The aptly titled theme song for the company's 2014 blockbuster film, The Lego Movie, captures the success of a multi-year operational realignment that has reaped tremendous financial dividends for the once struggling, globally recognized toy brand. Helped in part by blockbuster films and headline capturing partnerships with the likes of Star Wars that sustain a strong brand awareness, the secret sauce to Lego's financial turnaround has been successful tweaking its operating model to meet changing business model pressures. After the Lego Movie's success, the company was feeling confident and once again took a shot at marketing its products to girls. This time, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, Lego utilized its existing models to create a product for young girls, Lego Friends, that was as exciting as its original products. From there, it ventured back to the ideas that had originally led to its success by producing sets that let children create and build their own cities. It would seem that even in a digital world, putting children in the driver's seat of their own creativity was still the recipe for success. Faced by bankruptcy at first. Just over 10 years ago, Lego found itself on the brink of bankruptcy. Faced with increasing competition from a globalizing economy, video game entrants, and mass adoption of the internet, Lego implemented several poorly prescribed innovation strategies. One such strategy was the hiring of a team of leading young European designers with no toy-making expertise. The result was a severe escalation in the number of parts, blocks, climbing rapidly from 6,000 to over 12,000 and causing a nightmare for logistics, storage, and infrastructure expansion with no corresponding gain in sales. Beginning in 2004, under the new leadership of Jørgen Vind Kunstorp, Lego went to work to combat evolving business competition, implementing a host of operational improvements that have allowed its business to flourish. Streamlined product line. Back to the basics. Lego introduces new products every year, but is mindful of the costs of this innovation. The leadership team reduced the number of different Lego bricks produced, eliminating those that were costly to source, standardizing their design, and thus increasing the team's ability to react more quickly to consumer trends. Additionally, the company decided to sell off non-core, underperforming business lines. Lesson learned: focus on core competencies and do not be afraid to shut down operations of unprofitable businesses. Innovation within reason. Lego prides itself on creating unique ways to tap into the needs of its customer through advances in field research and design thinking. In an environment where mistakes can be made cheaply and there are no cost or feasibility constraints, a team called the Future Lab is tasked with generating interesting concepts for the company, even though many of them never end up getting launched. Yet, after the idea generation phase, the company ensures that costs of innovation are clear to designers. Lego has devised rules regarding the creation of new colors, shapes, and ordering of new materials. Lessons learned: no boundary should be placed on idea generation, but strict guidelines limit the chances of creating loss-leading toys. They regained their focus. Believe it or not, there is such a thing as too much innovation, and Lego is proof of that. Before their near demise, the brand began creating many different products, some of which were successful, but many of which were not what their core audience was interested in. In 2001, Jørgen Vig Knudstorp, a former management consultant at McKinsey & Company, came on board and took over as CEO of Lego. He insisted that Lego must go back to the brick and focus on its core products. He reduced the number of different pieces that Lego manufactured from 12,900 to 7,000. Maintain your focus. As your brand grows, don't stray from what made it successful in the first place. Remember that many times, less is more. They found new markets to dominate. With everything going digital, Lego had to find a way to adapt. By breaking into the Toys to Life market, or video games where physical action figures interact with those on screen, Lego was able to stay relevant while still remaining true to itself and its purpose. Lesson learned? Times change. Sometimes your brand must too. Find a way to stay relevant while still remaining true to your brand identity and purpose. They got to really know their audience. One reason that Lego nearly went bankrupt was because they lost sight of who their target audience was. They made unfounded assumptions, hastily innovating and creating without really researching beforehand to find out if that was what their audience actually wanted. Once Lego leaders started taking the time to really understand their audience, they were able to get things back on track. One way they did that was by hiring adult fans to handle the design of their products. They also held ethnographic studies to find out how kids around the world actually liked to play. In doing so, they were able to create products that their audience truly valued. More Lego fun? In 1961, the Lego wheel was invented. At first blush, that may not sound as momentous as humanity's initial development of the wheel, approximately 5000 BCE, but considering that today Lego turns out more than 300 million tiny wheels per year, it actually makes them the most prolific wheel manufacturer in the world. Along with 3,000 other types of pieces, they're packaged into 37,000 Lego sets per hour. And according to Lego, the process they use to mold their plastic is so accurate that a mere 18 out of every million bricks fails to meet quality standards. Understanding demand. While many people assume that Lego made bank from partnerships with the Harry Potter and Star Wars franchises, there is more to the story. Lego had not properly understood the consumer demand. The first year it produced Star Wars-themed Lego sets coincided with the release of a new film. Demand for the new Star Wars sets was off the charts, but Lego had underestimated the market and had not produced enough toys to keep up with consumers. Within weeks, the products completely sold out. Bottom line, Lego's story is proof that in order for a brand to survive, its leaders must constantly ask why. They must continuously question the brand's trajectory and dig deep to really understand what's working and what's not working. They must realize that controlled, not unbridled innovation is the answer. If they do that, then the sky's the limit. What are your thoughts about Lego Company? Have you ever wanted to get Lego toys or watched the movie? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, hit the bell icon button so that you'll get a notification whenever we post a new video.